Congratulations. We are pleased to offer you admission to the University of San Francisco School of Law for the fall 2021 full-time division. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alondra Elizabeth. Today I'm going to be updating you on my second month of law school. I literally finished recording month 1 where I was talking about like, oh, it's not that bad, it's a lot of work, blah blah blah. And I mean, I kid you not, the second day after that, things got way harder. I just finished midterms. There's basically like 38 days or something like that. Somebody counted before finals, and it's just insane because basically, like after the midterms have ended, it's just like the quickest turnaround. It feels like I should be studying for finals already, but I mean it's the weekend right now that I'm recording this, and I try to take a break. But yeah, month 2 of law school, no freaking joke. I mean, neither was month 1, but for some reason I felt like I had a bigger, like a easier handle on things my first month. This second month really just, it worked me hard for sure. Like the amount of work kind of just doubled in a blink of an eye. I think the hardest part was like having to study for midterms as well as like keep up with normal amount of coursework. Like, readings never stopped, preparing for class never stopped, cold calling, writing assignments, and then on top of that, like putting together outlines, memorizing it, my attack, like working on the attack plans. I mean, you all saw my like midterm vlog, like all of that while trying to do normal things. Was not easy at all. But I do want to update you all specifically on some things that you guys asked about. You guys asked about cold calling, and so cold calling, I've had a few under my belt for sure. One of my professors does like literally random calling. There's no way of knowing if she's gonna call on you or not. She's actually only called on me one time, and then I volunteered once because I just felt in my core that she was going to call me, so I raised my hand instead and answered something that I knew. So that's a smart way of saving yourself from getting cold called. Just volunteer. So that professor is pretty scary sometimes because you walk in and you just have no clue if she's going to call on you or not. Another professor, she kind of has a pattern where if she calls on someone in your row, then you know that you're up to be called on. She'll stay on that row for the rest of the class period and literally goes in order from person to person. So that one, it's nice to kind of know, like if she just called her row, she's not going to call us again next class. And in that class, I'm actually kind of up on the block pretty soon. Like I don't have it like checked off what row she's called, but I kind of have a feeling that we're going to be up next sometime this week. And for the other professor, he doesn't even cold call at all. Like, we don't have to volunteer. We don't have to, he doesn't call anybody. A few people volunteer. He just kind of goes straight off the book. So that one kind of feels a little bit like a high school class, to be honest. And overall, cold calls have gotten better. I mean, in my week in my life, I talked about a cold call that I kind of struggled with. But I think that's just like a hit or miss depending on the subject. Sometimes I feel good, sometimes it feels terrible. But at the end of the day, nobody remembers if you answered it correctly or not. I mean, not even the professor. The only one who really like stays with the trauma of being cold called is yourself. And for me, I think I just remind myself that it's a learning experience. If you get it wrong, you corrected yourself. You'll hear the right answer. If you get it right, then kudos to you. But I don't know, it's not something terrible. I'm not scared of being cold called anymore. Like, scared of it. I mean, I guess I don't even know if I was scared of it. But I mean, I don't like getting cold called, but I don't feel terrible if I do, even though in the moment I'm just like, stop, stop, stop. Like, go away. Don't call on me. Like, go to somebody else already, you know? But I think that's just normal. And it's normal to feel weirded about being cold called and stuff, but it is what it is. Um, and then somebody asked me to update on the coursework, and if the last 2 minutes was not apparent, the coursework is a lot. I'm reading 20 pages per class per week, and that's 3 classes, so like 60 pages a week. But for each 10 pages, I think I've said before, could pretty much takes me 2 hours. I'm probably not reading as effective as I should be, but I just feel like right now that's okay to be spending that amount of time just trying to learn how to read law and like cases that are written such a long time ago, etc. I feel okay with spending that much amount of time. When it comes to being in classes, I think that time was valuable in the sense that I don't feel lost. And I know people sometimes talk about how they don't even brief for class or read, and I don't understand how people do that, because I definitely would feel much, much more anxious if I did not read for class. Like, when I read, I'm in the know of what's going on. Even if I didn't understand something, I know what she's talking, like what the professor's talking about, what they're referring to, etc. And so, yeah, spending that time reading, that much amount of time reading for the week is worth it to me in that sense. And then you don't get too many assignments from the law classes. I have a lot more things to do because of the program that I'm in that I've talked about before. I was in like that. It came with a summer program, and I had to be in it as part of my admissions offer, and so I'm actually in like kind of ends up being 3 additional classes as part of this program. Like, it's meant to be support for the classes themselves, but they assign more writing assignments to me than like a normal student would have. So I have a lot more just coursework than others, but I think it would be beneficial if everybody was doing the amount of work that I'm doing, because I definitely feel like it helps staying on top of how I should be writing hypos, how I should be writing exams, working on my timing, on in like responding to hypos, and just practicing writing, because that's like the bulk of the way we get tested. It's just writing, you know? And like, yes, the reading is important, but like, that's not, at the end of the day, like, that's not what you're going to be tested on. You're not going to be tested on like cases like, oh, what did this case say, etc. It's about how you're applying the law. So spending the time that I'm spending writing hypos, practicing them under time conditions, plus the readings, like, it ends up being a lot, but I think it's all worth it. And that's what I keep reminding myself this month of, like, literally me spending all day, every day, doing something related to law school, whether that be reading, working on outlines, making flashcards, practicing writing, etc. Like, it's a lot of work for sure. But I think that work is worth it. I think it's necessary. Right now, for where I am, like, if I end up being able to shorten the amount of workload, believe me, I'll let y'all know. But I think right now it is what it is, and I'm okay with that. I've been working on kind of like making sure to include breaks in between all the work that I have to do, because I think that's definitely important, and it's something that I haven't been very good at. But I will be trying that moving forward, and then hopefully at the end of semester, because that'll basically be another month, I'll update y'all with great news about how it's going and everything. But midterms are done, going into the final zone of my first semester of law school, and it's kind of getting scary. It's getting real, in the sense that I should be knowing all of these things, and we're still learning more that needs to be added to that pile. I think the aftermath of midterms makes me realize that, you know, all the information I studied for midterms still needs to be something I need to retain for the final, plus some more things. And that's a little bit freaking me out, but I'm ready to just put in the work for sure. Let me know if you guys have any other questions. I hope this continues to be interesting. I like making these monthly updates. I think it's good to see how like I progress. So yeah, thanks for watching and see you in the next one.